my friends, it is that time of the week again. It is time for my Friday 5. This is a weekly series on my channel where I like to share with you 5 candles that are currently in my burn rotation, give you guys some either initial thoughts, maybe follow-up thoughts, and yeah, just lots of thoughts, I guess, in this video. I've got a couple of candle brands that I wanted to talk about, and in this week's edition, you're actually going to end up getting more than thoughts about 5. I actually have more candles to share with you guys because at the end of this video, what I'm going to do is I have my initial 5 that I wanted to touch on for this specific video, but because there is a Caramel Sundays restock happening this weekend and I was able to pre-order and get my hands on a couple of the new fragrances that are going to be offered, I wanted to give you guys some kind of like initial post-burn thoughts. Now, these are not going to be full-on dedicated reviews, maybe give you guys a little bit of a ranking of which one's my favorite, but I will make sure that I will give like a very distinct, like, hey, this is, you know, if you're not interested in shopping the restock, that way you'll know when I've gotten to that portion of the video. So this tends to be a very lengthy video. I tend to get a little bit chatty. I'm very comfortable, and I hope that you are as well. So if you like this video, please make sure you hit the thumbs up button. Consider subscribing to my channel if you are new. Any discount codes, affiliate links, you know, timestamps of, you know, the candles that I'm talking about when I talked about them, all of that can be found in the description box down below. But let's go ahead and get on into it here. So I wanted to go ahead and start out with a Kringle candle, a reserve candle that was sent to me during the time that I was taking a little bit of a break from YouTube. Now, this is the one reserve candle that I kept out of the 6 that were sent to me out of the new spring reserve collection. This is the fragrance Sea Salt and Melon. So we have fragrance notes here of sea salt, melon, lemon, jasmine, lily of the valley, wood, and musk. So this has a pour date of, it looks like February 11th, 2026. And I held on to this one because I am somebody who likes melon fragrances. I actually really like this one on cold. I definitely pick up on, it's kind of like a, it's not a watermelon that I'm picking up in here. It almost smells like a combination of kind of like cantaloupe and maybe a little bit of honeydew in here. Is that one of the notes that was listed? No, it just says melon, but to my nose, I think it's honeydew and cantaloupe. I know that they have a cantaloupe listed here. Sea salt is not really like, it's there, but it's not super there, I would say, when I'm sniffing it on cold. Lemon, jasmine, lily of the valley. There's a slight, I would say there's a slight floral note in here, but nothing like terribly bad. Sorry, you guys, it's allergy season, and it's funny. I don't get horrible, like stuffy allergies, but my skin gets itchy for whatever reason. And we've got mesquite pollen all over the backyard right now. It's ridiculous. Okay, but getting back to this candle, it's definitely a melon scent. And like I said, the note that I smell the most on cold is like a honeydew or cantaloupe. Here's the thing, you guys, when this one is burning, I don't love this as much. And the reason why is because whatever they're describing as that sea salt, this fragrance, it sounds funny. I don't even know if this would be like the right word, but there's something kind of almost briny or like salty that comes out in this fragrance, but it's not in that typical like sea air, sea salt, or maybe it is. I think what it is that it's the sea salt mixed with the melon notes in here, because again, this is not a watermelon note to my nose. It's definitely like a honeydew, probably like a honeydew mixed with a cantaloupe. And because those are not like overly sweet melon fragrances, I think for me, when it comes to melon scents, I like kind of more of like a candied melon. And this is very much like a salty melon. And my nose, I don't think it really likes it. Again, I like this more on cold, but when it is warm, when the candle is going, when, you know, the flames are lit, something about this one, and it's usually after that like first hour of burn time, that it almost smells, it sounds funny, it's like there's a saline quality or something to it that I don't know, like it's just not really for me. So I'm going to try this one again but I wasn't loving it too much. Also, the thing that I will say is that I found the strength and throw was a little bit up and down on this one. It really was not wanting to throw too much. Now, I can't remember if I burned this one in my hurricane or not. I got those new hurricanes that I told you guys about last week. But I felt like this one, I thought it would have been stronger, but yet also it was strong enough for me to smell kind of that like saline. I don't know. That's the best way that I can say it. It smells like salty melons. Like, and I don't know, salty melons just aren't really in my preference. So yeah, sea salt and melon, those are my initial thoughts about that. I'm going to try burning this again, you guys. Again, this week I've had a lot of new to be focusing on. So I think I'm going to try giving this another shot and see how it goes. But I burned this one quite a bit the other day. It's probably about a quarter of the way burned, but yeah, not so far. That one is not a love for me. Now let's talk about a Kringle candle that I do love. This is the fragrance Cherry Pie. This was part of like a summer flight collection in 2025. They released this one, I think, with that like bottle rocket. It was like the popsicle fragrance. This one did stick around in the permanent lineup. This was so popular that they kept it around. And for me personally, I'm glad, because I really do love this fragrance. And funny enough, I'm not normally a cherry person. So that's why I was kind of surprised by how much I enjoyed this. This fragrance was initially sent to me in PR last year, but this one here I repurchased. So I burned through the one that was sent in PR. This was my backup. Fragrance notes on Cherry Pie are cherry, pastry, fruit, citrus, buttery, and vanilla. This one has a pour date of April 15th, 2025. Here's the thing with this one. The cherry note I get in here is like that, like kind of that like cherry pie filling. It leans, I want to say it leans slightly artificial, but actually not. It's almost in that like 90s, like your plastic toys kind of had this like cherry scent going on, but I like it. Like there's something, I laugh. I told Cody, I said, there's something about this one that reminds me of my childhood. There's something oddly nostalgic about this fragrance. And I know it's not because my mom made fresh baked cherry pies. My family were not cherry pie indulgers. But I'm going to tell you, my nose detects buttery crust in this. I've heard some other people say in their reviews that they don't pick up on it. I do. I definitely get a buttery crust note in here, which is why I think I like this, because cherry, again, is one of those fragrance notes that if it's not done well, my nose finds it quite offensive. If it's done too artificial, too candied, too sweet, like I don't tend to like the way that Bath & Body Works does cherry, but a lot of the cherry fragrances that Kringle has done, I do tend to like. This one I really like. They have, I don't know if it's still around or if they discontinued it. They have a fragrance called Sweet Geometry. It's almost like a cherry sorbet type of fragrance. That one's really good as well. It's a little bit more creamy. But anyways, I like this one. Strength and throw on this one is actually quite good for me too. This one is about a solid 8 in terms of strength and throw. Now, the thing I will say, you might be able to see it, not as much because I do wipe out my vessels. This one does get sooty quite easily. The first one that I had also does that. The wicks on this one, you are going to have to trim, particularly if you're getting one with the same pour date as I have. I don't know if they've re-poured these recently and have newer wicks. But yeah, this one is really, really good. I do recommend it. I really like pairing this with like a blueberry scent. So I've been pairing this with the Country Candle Blueberry Milkshake. I'm also planning to burn this with Double Dip Danish if I can get my hands on that this Sunday from Caramel Sundays. I love pairing that. This also goes really nicely with fragrances like, say, Strawberry Pound Cake from Bath & Body Works. If you have Homeworks' Strawberry Shortcake, that's another combination that I really like. So yes, this one's a winner for me. We don't, you know what, let's just talk about this. I don't know what's going on with Kringle recently. Not that like anything bad, but they've been fairly quiet. I feel like I know that they are running kind of like a 25% off sale on a lot of their reserves. But I feel like by this time last year, we were kind of already starting the Mother's Day sale. And here we are mid-April. Mother's Day is less than a month away, and I still haven't seen anything for that. So I'm like, are we getting a Mother's Day sale this year? Part of me wonders if some things have kind of been affected by the glass shortage issue that they ran into with Libby, which is their glass manufacturer. I'm wondering if that made them have to like alter their pouring schedules, and like maybe that in turn affects some of their sales. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Kringle is very, very good about keeping their ambassadors in the loop of new launches and things like that, but we haven't had anything new on the horizon since that last spring reserve launch, and that was back in, when was that? Early March, late February, early March. So yeah, I wonder what's going on over there, but I do know that they are looking forward to getting those new 3-wicks hopefully launched this summer. So yeah, just kind of curious as to what's going on over at Kringle. I feel like they've been pretty quiet recently, so makes you wonder, what's going on over there? So while we are talking about Kringle, I do have one other reserve fragrance that I feel like this one's been out for a while, and it's one that I don't really hear a whole lot of people talking about. I am going to say I think it's because both fragrance notes in the title of this candle are very, very polarizing, I think, in the fragrance community. So maybe that's why we don't have as much chatter about this. But this is pineapple cilantro. Fragrance notes on pineapple cilantro are juicy pineapple, airy cilantro leaf, lemon zest, shaved coconut, water lily, golden apple, vanilla extract, and caramelized sugar. This has a pour date of December 20th, 2024. So this one, was poured, gosh, a year and a half ago now, almost at this point. So I actually smelled this candle when I was in store last August when I visited the Kringle store and their factory. And I picked this one up because it was a great opportunity for me to be able to get my nose on a lot of fragrances that I normally can't. And I remembered liking this one in store. Now, I am going to say this is not going to be a fragrance for everybody. This is definitely like freshly cut pineapple. This is not your like super sweet, like fruity summer cocktail pineapple. This is very much like an authentic pineapple that has just been cut. It's sweet, but it's got kind of that, what would the word be for it? Like, it's a sweet pineapple, but this is very authentic to like the meat, I guess, of a pineapple. Almost like the pineapple core, I guess. It's not overly sweet. Now, the cilantro note in here, I do smell, but I don't feel like I'm like getting ready to eat a bunch of Mexican food, which I love me some Mexican food. I don't know if I could ever be away from the Southwest, just simply because we have amazing Mexican food here. I know I've made that statement several times, but yeah, Southern California and Arizona win hands down when it comes to good Mexican restaurants. But yeah, this is so interesting because the herbal note in here, it's not overly green. Yeah, this is one that, oh gosh. Yeah, shaved coconut. I don't get a ton of I don't smell a lot of vanilla. Maybe a little bit of sweetness of sugar in here, but not overly zesty. This is just, it's one of those like really unique fragrances. If you're somebody who likes fragrances that are a little bit more outside of the box, I think that you would like this one. I would recommend getting it like on a sale. But if you're somebody who is expecting this to be like your run of the mill, super fruity tropical pineapple, that's not what this is at all. The other thing I am going to say about this one is that I want this fragrance to be stronger. I'm at about the halfway point on this, and the wicks are not hot burners. Now, I think that this was during that time when Kringle was kind of experimenting with their wick sizes. I feel like this one needs hotter wicks. But I also could see that if this burns any hotter, it might compromise the fragrance profile. So, excuse me. Yeah, I don't know about this. Like in terms of, like, I like this. I really like this paired with the, when I bought this, I think I bought it with the cilantro, apple, and lime, which I can't remember. I know I've filmed that review. Do I have it up yet? I'm not sure if I do. But that'll be in my empties. those, if you like a fragrance, say like the cilantro, apple, and lime, then I think that you'll like this one. They complement each other quite well. You wouldn't think so, but they actually do. But now that candle is finished up for me. And now I'm like, okay, what else am I going to pair this with? But I do like this fragrance. This one is a really nice one to have around to kind of clear out like cooking odors and stuff like that after you've been cooking. But strength and throw on this one, you guys, right now for me is only about like a 6. It performs best in my bedroom. If I put it out here in the open concept, the fragrance gets lost, which again, I think that is due to the wicks on this one. I need to take a little sip of water here because if I don't, I know that I'm going to probably break out into a little bit of a coughing fit. Okay, let's talk about a gift gala candle. Now, I wanted to let you guys know that I think I had a gift gala review go up earlier this week. I think it was the Stillwater Cottage. Again, you guys, I actually, fun fact, I filmed quite a few candle reviews in that week leading up to my return to YouTube, I guess. So some of them are a little bit like out of order. So I'm trying to remember like which ones did I upload, because I filmed those reviews now at least 2 weeks ago. But at the time that I filmed those reviews, I did not know I had put in an application with Gift Gala to become an ambassador for them, and I found out last week that I've been approved in there. So Gift Gala does have their summer launch happening. I believe it's tomorrow. What would that be? April 18th. I think it's 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. They have their big summer collection. I did place a pre-order for that. It has not shipped yet, but I'm sure once it does, it won't take too terribly long to get from Texas to Arizona. So I will make sure to update you guys with my thoughts on those candles and the fragrances. I think I ordered in some type of format one of everything that's going to be offered. I do have again, now I have an affiliate discount code with them. It'll be Katie10 and it saves you 10% off of your purchase with Gift Gala. The great thing about them is that you can kind of wait around for more reviews and thoughts because Shelby pours those candles to order. So there's a little bit of a longer turnaround time, but also you're not having to really worry about those selling out right away or not being able to get your hands on them because of the business model that she has. So I've really liked the brand. I did take a little while to kind of familiarize myself with them. In fact, I think I had shown you guys like my first haul, and then during the time that I wasn't filming, I did receive a second order, a pretty big order. Again, some hits, some misses in there. But I've been pretty happy with the quality of the candles that I have gotten from her. And so that is why I did decide to go ahead and kind of like affiliate my name with her brand. Now, I know other affiliates have done that. And every program, you guys, that a lot of people are ambassadors or affiliates with operates a little bit differently. With Gift Gala, basically what it is that I earn a small commission and it's applied as store credit for me. So that way I can go ahead and turn it around and buy some new stuff to review for all of you guys. So if you choose to use my code, it is Katie10. But yeah, I will make sure to share my thoughts with you guys when that comes around. But the reason why we're talking about Gift Gala is because I was burning a candle this week that I was thinking, darn it, I should have gotten another one of these. This fragrance is now sold out, but I do hope that she brings this back. And I hope that she brings this back as like a fragrance that's offered year round. This is the scent, The Last Slice. It was part of the Easter collection. It has fragrance notes of spiced cake, buttercream frosting, and it looks like toasted almond. This is a really nice like spice cake fragrance. Yeah, I was burning this the other night. You definitely get that buttercream frosting. This is a scent that I would like to burn with, say, I like burning this with her grandma's kitchen, which I did realize I did do a short dedicated review on that. So it's in my shorts tab. That grandma's kitchen, you guys, if you like a very like authentic, heavily spiced cake, like not, you don't want a frosting component. If you like really spicy, like gourmand kitchen spice fragrances, you would like that grandma's kitchen, and it's quite a powerhouse in my home. But I was burning The Last Slice with grandma's kitchen, and oh my word, I loved that fragrance profile. This is a little bit different than the carrot cake fragrance that I like from that candle place. I like her carrot cake fragrance a lot. In fact, I wish I would have gotten my hands on another one, but I happened to be at Disneyland the day that she did a restock of that and I missed out. But this is really, really nice. If this is not a carrot cake, this is a spice cake to me. But I do get the component of like a buttercream frosting in there. Not a ton of nuttiness from the almond, but this is just a really beautifully done spice cake fragrance. So if you like scents like that, then you would like this. I hope that she brings this back, like I said, for maybe for like fall or whatnot. Because for those of you who are not seasonal burners, this is a really, really good, just like warm, inviting, gourmand type of fragrance. Strength and throw on this one for me is decent. I would give it probably about a 7. Not going to bowl me over, but pretty good. So that is the last slice. Unfortunately, it is not available anymore, but if it does make a return, you'll want to make sure you get your hands on it. Okay, so the fifth and final candle that I'm going to talk about is kind of going to be my segue into the Caramel Sundays updates, because my fifth candle that I want to talk about is a Caramel Sundays candle, and it is coming back in the restock this weekend. So if you are not interested in Caramel Sundays, thank you very much for hanging out with me here. You're welcome to still hang around, even if you're not interested in shopping. If you just want to be chilling with me, that's fine. But just wanted to let you guys know, for those of you who were interested in thoughts on other brands, there they are. Now it's going to be segueing into Caramel Sundays. So the fifth candle that I want to talk about this week is Salted Peach Butter from Caramel Sundays. I did do a dedicated review on this one already. We have fragrance notes of peach nectar, creamed brown sugar, sea salt, vanilla butter, and honey nectar. And here's the funny thing. I had mentioned in my dedicated review that this is one of the candles. First and foremost, I already was rolling the dice getting this because we all know Cody, not a fan of peach fragrances. But I like peach fragrances, and I was like, you know what? I'm not going to let him hold me back. I'll burn this while he's at work, which is what I typically do. So when I got this in initially, I'm going to tell you guys from my March restock haul, this was actually my least favorite on cold. However, I reached out, I was talking to Amy and McKenna was like, Katie, burn it. She was like, I think you're really going to like it when you burn it. And I'm so glad I listened to her, because I love this fragrance. Now, I am going to say, this is a fragrance to me that I would say is kind of like a bookend fragrance. It's one that I can burn like in these like going into summer months, but also I picture this more as like a end of summer type of fragrance. I like peach gourmands, usually late July, early August. They're preparing me for more of those fruity gourmands that, typically I associate with fall, like apple or pumpkin. But this is beautifully done. This on cold, it kind of comes across as like, I don't want to say artificial peach, but like that super like candied peach. And I initially was picking up kind of on that honey butter, which I was kind of like, ugh. I've concluded, you guys, really dense buttery notes are usually not my jam. They have to be done super, super well in order for me to like them. If things get too buttery, my nose can like it for a short period of time, but then I'm like, I'm done. So I was nervous about this. But when this is burning, this is like, it's just a yummy peach, warm, it's a warmed peach dessert. There is a little bit of that vanilla butter and the honey nectar in here, but the honey nectar with the peach nectar just blends to like such a beautiful natural sweetness. It doesn't smell artificial. It smells yummy enough to eat. This one is on my list to repurchase this Sunday in the restock. This is coming back in this 2-wick vessel. I really like pairing this with their, what's the one that I like? Huckleberry. Oh, I have that over here. I liked pairing this with Huckleberry. I think that it's just, again, those kind of like summer to fall transitional fruity accords. But this has also been really nice with, what's the one? Something Blossoms. Berry Blossom, I think, from the Easter collection from Kringle. I really liked pairing it that way too. So yeah, this one is just it's a beautiful scent. Really nice peach gourmand if you're somebody who likes something that's got a little bit of that like brown sugar in there. There's a full dedicated review. I've gotten really good performance out of this one as well. Pretty good strength and throw. So yeah, those are my thoughts on salted peach butter. It is on my list to repurchase this Sunday. So let's go ahead and let me share some initial post-burn thoughts with you guys on some of these candles. The one that I am going to tell you guys, the one that I do have in my collection that I just did not get around to burning yet, and I honestly didn't feel like it would have been fair if I tried to burn it and then give you guys an update, is the fragrance Cowgirl, which a lot of people are interested in because it's supposedly very, very similar to Bath & Body Works. I think it's brown sugar and fig. Here's the thing with Cowgirl. I think I had mentioned in the video last week that Caramel Sundays, their pouring schedule looks a certain way. And so some of these candles literally were done getting poured like a day or two before they shipped out to us. The candles typically need a 14-day curing time. So there are a couple of candles, Cowgirl being one of them, that the day that I am filming this is probably like day 12, 13 after they were poured. So it's not even really, like they haven't even gotten that full curing window. And Cowgirl, I also have been told by Sierra, is one of those fragrances that is more of like a bedroom scent. It is not designed to be a like fill your whole home, smack you in the face type of fragrance. It's more of like a kind of like a body care fragrance. It's present, but it's not going to like totally envelop your senses. So I figured that because knowing that it's kind of one of those softer fragrance profiles combined with the fact that it hasn't had the full curing time, I didn't want to burn it and then come on here and say like, yeah, it was super light or whatnot, because that's not really giving it a fair shot. So that is the only one that I don't have like an initial post-burn thought to share with you guys. The other ones here that were kind of like, they're just right at the end of the curing window, but I actually got, somewhat decent performance out of them. This is the fragrance Scoops Ahoy. So the fragrance notes on Scoops Ahoy are vanilla bean ice cream, crushed pineapple, chopped nuts, maraschino cherries, ripe bananas, and sugary pecans. Now, here's the funny thing I'm going to say about this candle. First burn, so I got this one in and I started burning it, and then Sierra was like, oh, that one's not done curing. And I was like, oh, I better put it out. But I said, funny thing, I told her on the first burn, I said, this reminds me a lot of Honey Badger. On the first burn, I wasn't getting a ton of cherry. And then I burned this one the other day, and I'm going to tell you guys, this was actually quite strong for me. But I'm going to tell you guys, this reminds me of Honey Badger with a little bit of a cherry note. Now, the cherry note, I have been told, is the same cherry note that they use in their cherry mousse. The cherry note in here is not artificial. It's not perfumey. It's very, very well done. It's kind of like, it's a sweet maraschino cherry. So it's even different than like the cherry note that I will tell you that I got in Kringle's cherry pie. Kringle's cherry pie has it's more of that like cherry pie filling. This is like you just got your maraschino cherry on your ice cream sundae and you pick it off and eat it. That's the type of cherry note that I'm getting in here. It's very, very well done. Again, you guys know I'm not a cherry fan. I have been burning this with Honey Badger. I think that that's a great combination. But I'm going to say this, to me, if you like Honey Badger, if you like cherry notes, then you might want to get this one. This is a like for me. It's not a love. I think I still prefer the original Honey Badger more. But again, that's because cherry notes are very hit or miss for me. Now, I will say I have gotten 2 burns in on this one. And yesterday when I was burning this was quite strong for me. Even in the 2-wick, I would give this one probably about like a 7.5 on the second burn. It was pretty good for me. So Scoops Ahoy, again, smells very, very similar. Like it smells like it's a cousin, or I would even say a sibling to Honey Badger. And it makes sense, right? Because there's crushed pineapple, there's chopped nuts, there's ripe bananas, there's sugary pecans. So the only other 2 notes you have in here that are a little bit different from Honey Badger are the vanilla bean ice cream and the maraschino cherries. Those are the only like notes that I feel like are kind of like swapped around. So again, it's got similar elements, but a little bit different DNA. But I do like this one, but it's not a love. I don't feel like I need more of it. Now, the other fragrance that is kind of a surprise gourmand to me is the fragrance Bronzed Beach. So Bronzed Beach has fragrance notes of roasted pecans, coconut flakes, vanilla butter, Warm Mahogany and Fireside. Now, this one intrigued me and also scared me at the same time because I don't always love mahogany fragrances. I was one of the few people who on that mahogany marshmallow, all I could smell was the mahogany on cold. And so therefore I ended up giving it away to one of you. But I'm going to tell you guys, this one's really nice. I'm curious to see what this one does the more that I burn it. Now, this is also one of the other ones. I think Cowgirl and Bronze Beach were two of the last candles to be poured. So this is one that I tried burning yesterday, but this is also very much like right at the edge of like the curing window. I'm not even sure that this one is fully like I think I burned it probably a day or two before. I probably should have. But here's what I'm going to tell you guys about this one. This, if you are a gourmand lover, this is very like nutty, warm. There's kind of like a warm coconut element to it. I don't get a ton of smokiness to it. Like some people see a Fireside Accord and they get nervous about that. I don't smell anything overly smoky. In fact, I personally wish I smelled a little bit more smokiness, but again, I've only burned this 2 times, so this could actually really transform, the more that I burn this. But I got like a rich, kind of like a nutty, creamy type of thing going on because we've got roasted pecans. That vanilla butter is in there. There is a density to this fragrance that is very, very pretty. In terms of the warm mahogany, I'm not smelling like mahogany outright. I am smelling a little bit of a woody accord in here. The woody accord that I'm picking up in here almost smells very similar to the woody accord that I picked up in the pistachio peanut brittle candle. So if you have that one and you know that like kind of woodiness that comes out the longer that candle is burning, I feel like I smell a little bit of that in here. Again, this is another fragrance that I like, but I don't see myself needing more of it. This is a nice like evening fragrance for me. I do like it paired with another candle that I'm going to talk about. But yeah, this one I do like. Strength and throw on this one, again, you guys, I'm trying to be very like honest and just saying I'm not sure that the curing window was completely closed when I burned this. This was about a 6 for me. Performed a little bit better in my bedroom, but once again, I feel like this is one of those ones that if I let it burn a little bit longer, give it a little bit more time to cure, I could see this one really, really coming to life and being a little bit more potent. Now, let's talk about what I'm going to say these are going to be my top 3 recommendations. Other than, like the salted peach butter, but like these are the 3 that have like really caught my eye out of the new launches that are going to be coming this Sunday. So coming in at number 3 is going to be Sandbar. Now, I mentioned this in the video last week. I am a mango hater. I typically do not like fragrances that have mango and peach in them, so it made me a little bit nervous. Sandbar has fragrance notes of mango, strawberry, coconut milk, sweet musk, ripe melon, and peach. But I got to tell you guys, there is something about this one that I really, really love. I don't know, maybe my preferences have changed, but in the past, mango with peach can come across a little acidic and cat urine-like to my nose. But I think that there's other sweet elements in here that kind of tone down what I normally smell as like a very like acidic type of thing. This to me is like, this is like, just take me to the Caribbean. Like we are on a Caribbean beach. I'm actually going there in late May, so I'm very excited about that. This is very tropical vacation. If you are somebody who loves tropical fruity, like tropical fruity cocktail types of drinks, this is going to be it. Now, there's no boozy elements to it, but it's that very sweet, but it doesn't get overly artificial. Again, I know a lot of people, they don't like it when I say this, but I'm just being honest. Like, I typically don't like Bath and Body Works, a lot of their summer candles, because I feel like the way that they do a lot of their fruity cocktail types of drinks, it's just so artificial to my nose. This is not. This is like, it's done well. It's not so much, it doesn't come across synthetic. This just smells kind of like I just went up, to the bar and got myself a nice little tropical drink. I do smell mango in there. I do get some of that coconut milk. It lends a slight creaminess to this, but this is not as creamy as, say, even like what I get in like the Bronzed Beach. I get more of like a dense note in here. The coconut cream in here is very light still, I would say. Yeah, strawberry is in there, sweet musk, ripe melon. This one is really, really good. And I am going to tell you guys that I got pretty good performance out of this one. This one, it's one that kind of takes a little while to get going. Just like I said with the Circus Candy Clouds, this one takes a little while to get going. But after about like an hour, hour and a half, this one was a solid 8 out here in the living room. It throws quite well for me in my hurricane out here. Remember, you guys, I do burn in hurricanes, particularly with soy wax. But yeah, this one comes in at number 3. Coming in at number 2, now this is my own personal number 2 here, right? Because this has a fragrance note in here that, again, polarizing. I love it. Sun and Sugar has fragrance notes of fresh squeezed lime, meringue, milky vanilla, scorched sugar, and lemon zest. For those of you guys who love Yankee Candle's vanilla lime, but you want soy wax, this is it. This is it right here. It's done a little bit better, I think. This is very, very lime forward. This is like the key lime pie filling. I know that there's been some questions like, how does this compare to Sublime Vanilla? I did have Sublime Vanilla last year. That was not as lime forward to me. That had a little bit more graham cracker crust, and it had a little bit more of like a vanilla component. And quite frankly, it was quite a bit lighter than this one. I had that in a 4-wick, and I'm going to tell you that this fragrance in a 2-wick is way stronger than I even remember the 4-wick being. That was a great fragrance. If you have it in your collection, it will pair really nicely with this Sun and Sugar. But this to me is definitely like lime. Like it's lime, but it's sweet lime. It is the key lime pie filling. It's not the lime that you get from, if you're familiar with Country Candles Fresh Bergamot. It's not like that. This is one that I think a lot of people, you have to like lime. If you don't like lime, don't even risk it. You're not going to like it. But I love this scent. I am hoping to get this in a 4-wick on Sunday because I have been searching for years for a good replacement to vanilla lime from Yankee. I just don't get good performance from Yankee candles. So, yeah, I love this one. Strength and throw on this one, you guys. I will say I think that this is probably the strongest candle of all of the ones that I've tried. This one starts throwing pretty well, and it's a solid 8 for me in the hurricane over there. Again, I'm planning to pick it up in a 4-wick as well. Oh, I love this one. And this pairs really nicely with, oh, you know what? I didn't bring it over here. I need to, you know what? I'll take some B-roll and throw it in here. I was like, oh, I know there's another fragrance that I need to update on. This pairs really nicely with Banana Boat. This also pairs really nicely with the other candle that I wanted to talk about. But this is my number 2 recommendation. You guys are probably going to be surprised that this is my number 2 because I love it. I love it. But there is one that was a dark horse that came in hot. So before I reveal the number 1, now that I've been reminded, you know what? Let me go grab it real quick because it was in my daughter's room. It wasn't in my closet, and I totally forgot to get it. Let me go grab it real quick for you guys, and I'll be right back. All right, I freshly grabbed this out of my daughter's room. Didn't even have time to put the lid back on. But let me give you some updated thoughts on Banana Boat. Banana Boat has been reformulated this year. And I'm going to tell you guys, to my nose, this is more authentic to the Banana Boat sunscreen than I remember it being last year. This to me is definitely, I smell like a creamy banana. I get creamy coconut in here. It's more creamy banana though. It's not like gourmand banana to my nose. It's a different banana note than what I pick up in, say, Monkey Business. This is like, it's very creamy. It's a very creamy banana. But there is the combination of lime and pineapple. I'm not sure. It's funny. Who's Amy over at Beloved Fragrance Finds? She's having a hard time with this fragrance. There's something about it that she's like, I don't like the combination of the lime and pineapple, I think. And I like, we were kind of talking about it behind the scenes. She's like, I can't. I don't like it. I don't like it. But to me, that combination is actually what kind of makes this feel like it's a little bit more authentic to the sunscreen. I am that person that, like, I have 3 sunscreens, excuse me, that are like my favorites. I like Banana Boat, I like Sunbum, and I like Vacation. They all have different fragrances to me. This to me is Banana Boat sunscreen. This is exactly what it smells like. So if you've ever gone in, if you want to go into your local drugstore, go sniff the Banana Boat sunscreen. That's what this candle smells like. And it smells like that when it is burning as well. Now, I am going to tell you that this one for me is stronger than I remember last year's being. Last year, I think I had it in a 4-wick and a 2-wick, I think. And this one, again, for me is doing quite well. I brought it out here in the open concept. I would say it's about a 7 in terms of strength and throw. So if you have an open concept, you might want to try getting it in a 4-wick and burning it in a hurricane that way. But also the two wick was doing quite well for me out here in the open space of my home. So yeah, it is a little bit stronger than I remember it being last year. And the fragrance to me does smell more authentic to the Banana Boat sunscreen. Last year, I think I got a little bit more like banana and lime. But this year it smells more authentic to the sunscreen. So those are my updated thoughts on Banana Boat. Now, here is my number one recommendation for Sunday, and this might come as a surprise. I know it surprised me a lot, but you guys, I did an Instagram post about this the other day. Do not sleep on this Key West coconut. This is my number one recommendation, and I'm going to tell you why. Fragrance notes are buttery coconut, sea salt, toasted sugar, heart of palm, golden hour amber. Why is this my number one? Okay. This is, I am saying this in the most complimentary way. This is basic coconut done extremely well. I mentioned in my Instagram post, this is like that girl, you know, the one who quietly enters the room. She's not loud, but she turns everybody's head. She, you know, her presence is there without her having to be loud and announcing it. That's like what this candle is for summer for me. This is it's a meaty coconut. It's almost got like a wateriness to it, like coconut water. There's no like milkiness or like deep creaminess. This smells like an authentic and yet at the same time sophisticated coconut. If you want a comparison, so the new what's the new coconut one from Kringle? Is that salted coconut? The new coconut one from Kringle. That has a little bit more of like a perfumey masculine tone with it. I like it. It's a beautiful fragrance. This is missing that. This is like if you just want a neutral coconut fragrance that is going to enhance pretty much every other candle that you have in your collection in the summertime, this is it. This is it right here. And that's why it's my number one suggestion, because this pairs nicely with Sun and Sugar. It goes with Banana Boat. It goes with Bronze Beach. It goes with Sandbar. It literally goes with all of the fragrances that are going to be offered. And this was also pairing really nicely with, I have a couple of other Kringle candles that are summery, like tropical types of fragrances. This just, it goes so nicely with everything. This is on my wish list to get in a 5-wick this Sunday, because I have a 5-wick currently, but it's oat milk and pistachio. I like to display a 5-wick candle on the centerpiece of my kitchen table. I like it for that effect. So I was thinking like, I want something that smells more summery, because oat milk and pistachio, we know my affinity for that one, but that is more of a winter fragrance for me. And I want something that I can display that gives me the summer vibes. And I'm telling you what, this Key West coconut is absolutely fantastic. It's just, I feel like it's understated because it's not as flashy and loud as some of these other fragrance profiles. But this one is just, she's it. Like she's the it girl. I feel like, just very understated, natural beauty. So I definitely want this one in the 5-wick. I think that this is also going to be available in a 4-wick. So I wanted to give you guys just like a little bit of a comparison. I haven't done this in a while, but like here's the comparisons of like the 4-wicks. Now the 4-wicks and 5-wicks don't come with lids. The 2-wicks do. This is those Pyrex 7201 lids. They do fit on top. It's not the most aesthetically pleasing, but I do this for storage purposes. Caramel Sundays does also, you know, send nice individual boxes for all of these to be kept in storage if you prefer to do it that way. But I personally don't. I like to see what I have. So these are those Pyrex lids. I get them on Amazon. There's like a pack of 4. They're the 7201, and don't buy knockoffs. Buy the authentic Pyrex ones. And I think it's like $12 for a pack of 4 of them. And I think they have other colors too, but I just go with blue because it was the cheap one. And then I'm going to reach down here and show you guys if you want a comparison between, so here's the 5-wick, so here's a 5-wick. I do not want to drop anything. And then this is the 4-wick. So if you see kind of a little bit of a size comparison, the 4-wicks, I believe, are 40 ounces and the 5-wicks are 75 ounces. These retail for, I think, $99, and these ones go for about $64.99. Does include the cost of shipping. And then the other thing too, like, I feel like these are not outrageously priced, because if you guys want a comparison, Harry Slatkin sells his 80-ounce Luxe candles for $120. And so I kind of feel like these are actually kind of the better value. They're a little less expensive. You get 5 ounces of wax less, but it's 100% soy, non-tox. So yeah, I mean, it's just all going to be what you think it is. So I think that's going to wrap it up for my Friday 5. Let me know in the comment section down below if any of these candles are currently in your burn rotation, or if any of the Caramel Sundays ones that I showed or gave updated thoughts about for this Sunday are on your wish list. I'm always curious to hear from all of you guys what you are burning right now. What are you wanting? What are you desiring? And yeah, don't forget, the gift gala launch is happening tomorrow night. The summer launch. The one I think that I'm most excited about is the Toasted Tides. There's a few of them. That I was like, oh, I think I'm gonna like a lot of those. So really excited to get that order in. I also have an order coming from That Candle Place. It's another small business that I purchased that carrot cake candle from a couple of months ago, and she recently had kind of like a summer collection come up, so I did order a couple of candles from her because I had a good experience with my carrot cake. So trying to give you guys lots of options. If you're new to my channel, clearly you can see that I love candles, but I do have a preference for 100% soy wax candles, and so therefore those are the candles that I tend to feature on my channel. But love to have you here either way. You're welcome to be here, just as long as you remain kind. We're a cool group here in the comment section. We don't tolerate any meanness. So if you're a nice person and you want to, I'm always fine with sharing honest thoughts, but we can always be honest and still remain have integrity in sharing honest thoughts. That's the thing. And always be considerate. And if you are one of those people, feel free to hit that subscribe button. So I do want to say thank you so very, very much for spending your time here with me today. And until my next one, I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day. Bye.